Let's turn to domestic policy, where your big issue is energy independence and also fighting global warming. And your big idea, somewhat controversial idea, is a corporate carbon tax on big polluters, which you say would raise $50 billion a year. Senator, wouldn't a lot of that be passed on to consumers and also put a real drag on the economy?
Well, not really. Look, the great barrier here to moving away from our dependency on foreign oil coming out of the Middle East and elsewhere is price, Chris. The great elasticity in the price of oil can be anywhere from $70 a barrel down to $20 a barrel and still make profits at it. So anytime renewable and alternative energies come along to be competitive economically, that price of fossil fuels can drop and make them less competitive. So until you honestly deal with the issue of price, as Tom Friedman has pointed out over and over again, you're going to be confronted continuously with the problem of getting these renewable and alternative energies online, dealing with global warming, dealing with the health issues, and getting us less dependent on a very hostile part of the world. We spend $300 billion a year, Chris, on buying foreign oil. 60 to $100 billion of that 300 come from nations who are very hostile to our interests. I think it's very little to ask here to put a tax on polluting emissions. It would allow these alternative ideas to be competitive with them economically. Let's get away from that Middle Eastern dependency on oil. Let's develop our own technologies. The fossil, the solar energy, the wind, the biodiesel, the biofuels, the geothermal, all of these ideas that can really make a difference for our country, reduce global warming, reduce the health hazards, and become an independent nation when it comes to our energy needs. You can't do that unless there's a carbon tax. That's the big difference. I know it's tough, but frankly, if you don't have a real, honest answer, the American people can handle the truth. They just want their politicians to tell them the truth. Well, the carbon tax and a 50-mile-per-gallon standard that I'm also advocating here on automobiles will help us get there very quickly, in my view.
Senator, you talk about handling the truth. Let me ask you about, you also mentioned Tom Friedman, the columnist from the New York Times. You don't seem to have taken what I believe is his top proposal, and that is to, in fact, increase the gas tax. You really want to stop people from driving, increase the gas tax. Why not do that?
Well, I think there's a better way of doing it. That's why at the corporate carbon tax level, that money, that $50 to $100 billion, which is a lot less than the money we're paying today to countries in hostile parts of the world, would allow us to invest in a fast track to develop these technologies, provide the kind of financial relief to people out there who want to make these other choices but frankly can't afford to make them, and provide the assistance to some of these people producing these polluting emissions to allow them to make that transition here, many of whom want to make that transition. You get a direct tax on gasoline, obviously that's going to hit consumers very directly. This proposal is less direct, provides relief for consumers, as well as allows us to invest these dollars in the technologies that I think we can bring online very, very quickly. It's a very honest answer, Chris, on this issue. And again, with all due respect to my other opponents in this race, just talking about the goals without having to get there really doesn't help us very much. We all know what the goals are. We all agree with the goals. But you got to be tough on this issue and how you get there.
Senator, we got...